Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 8 topics for this video. Very important topics, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have made a video. Remember Zelenskys Victory Plan that he unveiled yesterday with his 5 points and a few secret appendix? Remember that one? Okay. So they were so secret that I figured them out yesterday when he came and said, oh, those are secret. Very obvious what those were, which is strike within deep inside Russia, and you can rape our not economy, resources. We're gonna open everything for you, so actually you take over as, let's put it this way, legally. Well, we have Zakharova's answer to that one, which is, guys, if you do that, you are going to be at war with us, which is NATO. That's the first topic. We're going to find out that the United States of America will cooperate with Zelenskys Victory Plan, which is exactly what I said, strikes deep inside Russia, and we're going to get access to all your resources legally. Then we find out that, hey, Zelensky's aide is going to reveal the secret clauses. That's just going to confirm what I said yesterday and what I said a few seconds ago. Well, Mr. Robert Fico, he is the Prime Minister of Slovakia. He comes out and says, you know what? It's a high probability of Ukraine conflict ending soon. Well, is this because NATO will do something stupid? This guy is going to nuke NATO. NATO is going to nuke them, and then you're going to guys meet Jesus or something? Is that? Because I don't think they're going to go and talk to Putin. What do you think? Well, let's find out what Mr. Fico has to say. Next one. Mr. Zelenskiy is going to participate, is going to attend a Ukraine-NATO Council meeting and address European Council on Thursday. Today. So he's going to meet some NATO Council. Why is that? Strikes deep inside Russia? Ending the war? Ending the... Well, we're going to find out. Next one. We find out that the Americans bringing freedom and democracy to Yemen, they just bombed some compounds over there, some targets in Yemen, bringing democracy on B-2 aircrafts. Next one. Guess who's going to give Ukraine Abrams tanks? Australia, mate. Good job, man, good job. But it's not that they're going to give them tanks. They're going to give the garbage tanks, and they're going to ask the arms manufacturing companies to provide them with more because China is going to invade them with tanks. Baboons. We find out why Pokrovsk is so important, and it has to do with natural resources. Well, the Russians are going to take over Pokrovsk. I guarantee you that. I don't think that's a secret. And the last article here, last topic, Zelensky offers Western allies access to Ukraine's raw materials. That means mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. So let's start with Zakharova. Reuters. Russia says Zelenskys Victory Plan, quote unquote, is pushing NATO towards direct conflict with Moscow. I think she's absolutely right. Russia on Wednesday denounced a victory plan presented by Ukrainian, because he's Ukrainian, President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying he was trying to push NATO into direct conflict with Moscow. I totally agree with that. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told reporters the plan Zelensky unveiled to his parliament would lead to disaster for the Ukrainian people. Again, and I'm quoting, he is pushing NATO into direct conflict with our country. I can simply tell Zelensky, if he is not aware, the partners of the Kiev regime have already demonstrated how they see Ukraine in the security architecture. They see Ukraine in a coffin and Ukrainian citizens in the grave as well. Well. Russia has long accused the West of exploiting Ukraine. I think so. And Zakharova recalled a warning by President Putin last month that the West would be fighting Russia directly if It allowed Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia with Western-supplied long-range missiles. Got that? Putin warned at the time that Moscow would be forced to take unspecified, appropriate measures in such a scenario. Zakharova said Zelensky therefore knew perfectly well what his appeals to NATO would lead to. Sober up, baby doll, but they will not sober up. But that's the whole goal, maybe. Maybe the guys outside Europe, outside the Western civilization, maybe they want to fuck ourselves for the third time. First World War, Second World War, and now the Third World War. Maybe they're okay. They think it's going to be contained only to the Europeans, and they could rule the ME. All right, that's what Zakharova said. Let's see what the Americans say to the Victory Plan. Ukrainska Pravda, 17th of October 2024. US cooperates with Ukraine on Victory Plan and other measures. US State Department says this weasel. So what does it mean? My friends, if the Russians learn, as Lavrov said, that an agreement was made on having Ukraine or whomever using American or British or Western weapons to strike deep inside Russia, when Lavrov said, when we will learn about it, it doesn't have to be public. When we learn about it, they can make up that as well. We're going to activate our blah, 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 blah. What does it tell you? They're not going to wait for these guys to strike. Only for the decision if they hear it was made. What do you mean by that? And these guys are saying, we're going to cooperate, US, with a victory plan, which says exactly that. I think at point 2, if the 5 garbage points Zelensky gave the Westerns, the Europeans, the United States continues to cooperate with Ukraine on the victory plan announced by the President Zelensky. Miller did not elaborate on his previous statement about the productive steps that the US authorities see in the plan that Zelensky presented to his American counterpart, Joe Biden. All right, so he's not saying, I'm sure that the conversation, right here, consists of 5 points and is in fact a plan to force Russia. Yeah, okay, force Russia. Let's see which one is it. But I didn't say it here. Now, right here. The second is plan is defense, invitation to NATO. That's a no-no. Second one is plan of defense, strengthening Ukraine defense, and redirection of the war towards Russia, in the sense of relocating the combat to Russian territory. This point has a secret appendix. The secret appendix is the one that I told you, is the attack deep inside Russia. This is going to have NATO and Russia destroy one another, which the guys in the Middle East will celebrate. Next one. Zelensky aide reveals secret clause of victory plan. The classified component details attack plans on Russia and a weaponry wish list, according to Mikhail Podolyak. So attacks plans on Russia. What did she say over here, Zakharova? That if they perfectly well know that Moscow directly, if allowed, right there, West would be fighting Russia directly if it allowed Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia and Western-supplied long-range missiles. And this guy says, yeah, all right, just there is there in the appendices, it is precisely said what kind of weapons should be used to destroy logistics very far deep inside, this is a different synonym, from the front line. What targets will be hit and how many weapons are needed for this. You got that? Next one. US confident that countries within Europe and beyond will continue to support Ukraine. European civilization will be, for the third time, another attempt by our enemies. Russia Today. High probability of Ukraine conflict ending soon, EU states Prime Minister. The issue is expected to be discussed at the European Council meeting this week, according to Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico. Right? Why? Because Zelensky is going to participate in that. Fico made the remark at a session of the Parliamentary European Affairs Committee before leaving for Brussels for the European Council meeting, where Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky has been invited to present his so-called victory plan. And I'm quoting, the probability of ending the war in Ukraine in a short time is very high. Why? Because these baboons Where are you? These baboons will cooperate and allow the Ukrainians to do, euphemistically says what? Use far from the front line, which would get me to right there. Russia directly fights NATO. That means these guys are really going to the end. It's going to be the end of the Europeans, faster than trying to bring outsider inside. And maybe it's easier than migration. Do this, they fuck themselves. Therefore, mission accomplished, my dear. Right? Okay, stay there. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So easy, man. So easy. New voice of Ukraine. Zelensky to attend Ukraine-NATO Council meeting and address European Council on Thursday. Look at him. There you go. Yes, he cares for us because he's Ukrainian. He's European. He wants us to be friends with all. All, yes. Okay, move on. Russia Today. US bombers pound targets in Yemen. B-2 aircraft have hit Houthi weapon storage facilities, according to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Are they going to use something else in the Middle East? No, because they own us. The US has used long-range bombers to strike 5 targets in parts of Yemen controlled by the Houthi militant group. The Houthis, who control large swaths of the war-torn country, have been targeting commercial ships. The latest US bombing raid, as described by Austin, involved B-2 Spirit long-range aircraft and was aimed at 5 underground weapon storage sites. That's what they say. Is it true? I don't know. Could be a lie. They lied before. The defense secretary described it as a, and I'm quoting, unique demonstration of the United States' ability to target facilities that our adversaries seek to keep out of reach, no matter how deeply buried underground, hardened, or fortified. Why don't you attack Russia? Or China? Or, I don't know, even North Korea? Well, you're afraid because those guys can hit you back, but Houthis cannot. So you're very courageous and very strong, America. Hey, America, you're very strong. You fight with the Houthis. Congratulations. You fight with Houthis, you fight with the Libyans, 4 million people. You fought with Saddam, 22 million people. With Afghanistan, shepherds and whatever there are, goat herders and so on. Great, man. Great, great. You're strong, man. And you bombarded Yugoslavia. Good. With the population about 10 million at that time. But we're mighty. And these guys, see, that proves we're strong. And you fight Russia with the Ukrainians because you didn't dare to challenge Russia. I'm not saying they should, because those guys will take care of that. They will do it for us. Why? Bringing democracy and so on. All right, Yemeni media have said that U.S. struck locations near the capital Sana'a and around the Houthi stronghold of Sana'a. All right, good for you. Good for you. You fight with a toddler. You're like Mike Tyson would go and fight with a toddler instead of fighting, I don't know, with Lennox Lewis or, I don't know, George Foreman or something like that. Move on. Next one. Russia Today. Ukraine to get American tanks from unexpected source. Australia, mate, will donate more Abrams tanks to Kiev that the US has given. Australia has announced it will donate most of its retired M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine after months of Kiev begging for any hardware. So, 31 Abrams US sent, right? And this guy's gonna send what? Kiev will be receiving 49 tanks out of her 59, and Canberra retired in July. Now, M1A1 models are supposed to be replaced by 120 of the newer M1A2 under the contract Australia finalized with the US in January 2022. Now, M1A1 are older, so go and check how old those things are. This is a crime. If I give someone a knife to fight someone against someone with an automatic weapon and I feel virtuous about it, I'm an asshole. I should stop the fight. That's what I should try. I give you a knife, say, you go and fight that guy. By the way, he's got a a loaded AK-47, right? How many? 25 rounds or 30 rounds or 50 or whatever, how many you want to have a magazine or whatever? Okay, you're good with that, right? That's a crime in my books. Next one. Let's see what Pokrovsk means, and I'm going to show you a map as well. Ukrainska Pravda. Occupation of Pokrovsk mines will seriously affect steel production in Ukraine. Reuters. So this is where the Russians are already. This is Pokrovsk. And I'm going to show you on the big scheme of things. This is the map. This is Ukraine, obviously. And Pokrovsk is in Donetsk, in here. Right there. So what you saw over... Where are you? Right here. This little thing here. This is this little thing here. And this is Pokrovsk here. The Russians call it differently, but nevertheless. So they're close by. Close by. So let's see what the consequences would be. Russian troops are approaching the town of Pokrovsk in Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast, threatening the production of cooking coal needed by the Ukrainian steel industry. The mine, located about 10 kilometers west of Pokrovsk, is Ukraine's only source of coal used to make coke. A key component in steelmaking. Metallurgy is Ukraine's second most important foreign exchange earner after agriculture. So if these guys get to west, right in this area, west of Pokrovsk, that means these guys are toast to a certain extent. Why? Why not? Because the American leaders will tax us more, print more money, borrow in our children's name and give it to them. Alexander Kelenkov, the chairman of the Ukrainian Steelmakers Association, noted that the loss of Pokrovsk mine could lead to a significant reduction in steel production. Now let's see how much that would be. According to Ukrainska Pravda, Ukraine could lose half of its steel production if Russians occupy Pokrovsk in Donetsk Oblast. Capisci? Capisci. But don't worry, I'm going to show you the last article which tells you everything. Zelensky offers, like Milei of Argentina. Milei is the pimp of Argentina. Zelensky is the, how should I call those guys? Undertaker of Ukraine. DPA International. Zelensky offers Western allies, plunderers, access to Ukraine's raw materials. Zelensky, who's Ukrainian, gives foreigners access to another people's raw materials. Why? Because the Ukrainians, these guys have to fight their brothers. Excellent? No, that's a crime, big crime. But as big liars, they are big criminals as well. Ukrainian president, because he's Ukrainian, is offering, why not? Western allies access to his country. No, that's to the south, way to the south. That's his country. Valuable raw materials as part of the much touted victory plan he finally revealed on Wednesday. Thank God. In a speech to lawmakers, in Kiev, Zelensky said Ukraine has valuable resources worth trillions of US dollars, including uranium, titanium, lithium, and graphite. You got it? Woohoo! So now you know the Lebensraum. You know what it is? Living space. The Germans wanted it. They wanted territories and they want some people out. Why? Because they were too advanced economically. They needed to expand because they were that kind of, you know what I mean? All right. So they were the Übermensch, the master or whatever. Okay. These guys are not. These guys are just bring in democracy and then do it by willfully. Is that how you say it? The Ukrainians willfully give that to them. The Germans had to go and take it. But these guys are smoother. Why? First, you destroy a country's intelligentsia. You lower the standards in the classrooms. And then you baboonstein them with your media. There you have. Mission accomplished. And then you point out that's the enemy. The baboons will not understand that. They will be too busy trying to make a living. You got the guys in charge that will tell them they're attacked, and they will send their kids, husbands and fathers to fight their brothers. Good. And then you tell them that we need to give foreigners access to your raw resources because I'm one of you. I'm a Zelensky Stein. And I'm going to help you with Zhmihalstein, with Reznikovstein, with Umerov, and with Yermakstein. And I'm going to talk to my friend, what's his name? Blinkenstein. And I'm going to also talk with my friend Shopstein from Great Britain. I'm going to talk with, what's his name, from the Prime Minister of France, Stein, and many other Steins. Maybe, well, I know, with, how do you call that, Goldman Sachs. I'm going to speak with BlackRock. Go and check out who's in charge of BlackRock. Stein. I just verified it. I was like, oh, thank you very much. Now I know. No surprise, but I confirmed something. No connections. Do not fucking connect any dots here. You got me? Don't connect any dots. There you have it. Trillions of dollars. So do you think that's why the Ukrainians fight so hard? Because of those trillions of dollars? Or because their culture is screwed? Their country will be destroyed. Their traditions will be perverted. And there are Ukrainians in charge of you. I know some Ukrainians, and I used to know some Ukrainians. If I would go and grab that person from the grave and tell him, hey, you know what? In charge of your nation, very patriotic, in charge of your nation is a Zelensky Stein? Did you spit on me? Exactly. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.